Alright, we are now into the top tier of Ultimate. The best characters in the game. These are the characters that I think you pretty much always have to be ready for in a bracket. These are the characters that can absolutely steal games from you with extremely strong win conditions and weaknesses that aren't exploitable enough to hold them back. So, starting off, we got Peach and Daisy. This character is interesting because a lot of times I like saying this character gets power crept by how much zoning is in the game because of DLC and buffs to a lot of projectile-based characters and whatever, right? With that said, they always are able to, watch Mutates, and it's this character is out of show game unless you just kind of run up, and if someone's in Peach Daisy's face, I'll just say Daisy, in Daisy's face, it's scary, right? This character has extremely high damage combos, almost the kill confirms, 0 deaths. And I think the fact that this character has 0 deaths that you can actually execute if you're good enough, consistently, while also having float as an insane mobility tool, good recovery, great frame data for pressuring, great buttons for spacing. Turnips is a great neutral control tool, and it's this character is really good. I think that's the thing about it is without the crazy 0 deaths and massive damage combos, this character would probably honestly be a lower high tier, maybe upper high tier even. But the fact that you can just touch a death someone with good execution makes this character an absolute menace, despite the neutral feeling hard in a lot of matchups for her. Alright, and then Mario is kind of similar, right? He struggles a lot in neutral versus a lot of good characters, but he hits you once, and with good combos, he can do a lot of damage if not kill you. Especially when people keep bringing Kurama to PS2. Bro, Mario combos in that stage are insane. But really any platform stage, which is most stages, right, gives some insane combos. The fact that up close, kind of like Peach Daisy once again, he's just a monster up close. Good frame data, so good pressure buttons, hard to refine opening the press anything versus him. A good shield game, Fireball gives him great approaches, Cape is great reflector, and he has a really good recovery with his up B just because it goes so far and he has such good ledge snap. Added to the fact that he has a lot of safe kill moves you can just throw out there. So this character's only real weakness is that neutral can be rough, and I think he doesn't have a particularly good advantage state, so it's he has good combos, but when it comes to just juggling, ledge trapping, and edge guarding, he's a bit subpar there. But I think that's more than made up for by the rest of his kit. I also think there's a lot of potential in using Flood better for Mario players still. Alright, Roy. Roy is interesting because I think this character's definitely fallen off in a lot of people's eyes. Most because Cola's not going to events for a while, although I was recording this right before port priority, so who knows. Maybe port happens and Cola pops off again. He just did that at Let's Make Moves Miami. But yeah, so this character, I mean, he's very simple, right? He's fast, big, pretty decently sized buttons, great frame data, great combos. Kills you pretty early, does high damage, and everything he does is pretty much safe. Even if he just jumps at you, he can space things very well, so you can't really punish his stuff, and you have to guess versus him. And really, his only weaknesses are just, his recovery is not awful, but it's exploitable for sure. He's definitely combo food, and I feel when he's fighting a lot of characters with crazy stage control with projectiles, some dumb mechanics, he's just fast, strong, swordy. And I think when you're fighting the really, really good characters with him, the fact that he's just playing it honest but overtuned game of Smashy Bros really hurts nowadays, where the best characters are super good at disengaging versus a very engagement heavy character. Also, jab back here is crazy. Alright, Yoshi. Now, I'm actually surprised I'm putting him here, and then I thought about more. I thought about more, and it's this character is really good. Japan rates him very highly, and I see why. Because I fought Yoshidora at, I think it was Battle of BC. I got cooked, I'm not gonna lie. And what I realized fighting him is that if you get mastery of his movement, because his movement's really awkward, even though he's fast in the air, it's it's kind of slippery, right? But if you get good at his movement, his ability to just pressure you in the air is insane. His juggling is insane with high damage combos and kills. His edge guarding is really good with eggs and then just good frame traps. His ledge trapping with eggs and just reacting out shit with nairs. Very scary. And then you add on top of this good spaced aerials, mostly because his air mobility is so good, he can space what is otherwise mediocre aerials. But even his ground buttons, up tilt leads to so much damage. His smashes are kind of throw it out and forget it type of smashes, and not that laggy. He's heavy, and then double jump armor. The fact that he can like double jump, cancel an attack hitting him pretty much, and punish you means keeping him in disadvantage, especially at lower percents, is really hard. It means you'll hit him and he'll trade with you a lot, and then go into his very good advantage state. And it's like, his only weakness has been neutral. And it still is, but that's more than compensated for the fact that like it's hard to do a lot of damage when you hit him, and he does a lot when he hits you. And I could see him being even higher, to be honest, because he's just so good at like weaving around so much stuff due to his armor ability. Alright, Bayo. I've been a Bayo believer for a while, and now the Bayos are really starting to put in work with like Bloom Forever, Lima. The thing about this character is, she doesn't get hit if she doesn't want to. Like, I think this is one of those characters where it's like, if whoever you're playing cannot deal with lane play, then you just lose the Bayo. Because she can kind of just jump around, side B, like to platforms and stuff. If it hits you, it's combo city. And her advantage state is insane. Combos, juggling, edge guarding. Her ledge chopping isn't great, I will say that. But yeah, so it's like really hard to fight her. Like, she can choose not to engage and poke you with side Bs, maybe even like some guns if she wants to. It's hard to punish her just doing aerials. Like, forward air is pretty safe if spaced well. Back air is pretty safe. And then like, if you jump versus her, you're a super easy target for her side B. If you hit her shield, up B shield is an amazing tool that leads to combos. Bats Within is an amazing combo break, of course. And then her recovery is like borderline unstoppable. Same with her, like just in general disadvantage state. It's so hard to stop her from resetting the neutral. And if you try, you're probably gonna reverse it, right? So you have to win neutral versus her a lot. And winning neutral versus her is like just a lot of like small damage, like slow grindy play. But if she hits you, you can take a lot of damage and potentially die. So it's taken a long time for Bayo players to learn how to play her. They're still learning how to play her. One of the biggest things I've seen Bayo players use a lot nowadays is they use Witch Time a lot to like deal with projectiles and get openings. And like versus a lot of characters like say Olimar, Mega Man, good Bayos just sit there, wait for an opening for a projectile. Witch Time, if they get in, cool. If it's too far away, they do nothing. And since it's so hard to pressure her, like, it's really hard to force her to play your game. And it's really scary to try and force that on her. I think this character still has potential to grow, to be honest. I could see a universe where she's top 10 eventually. I think she's very scary with a lot of depth still in her, especially in the combo game. Alright, Wario. This character has consistently remained relevant because of Gluttony. And I hate when people think this character isn't great. This character, kind of like Yoshi, crazy armor ability, right? You just can't hit this character in the air well. Just so fast. Heavy, but also small, so hard to combo, but lives super long. And like this character is a rage exploiter. Like as a result, this character lives super long and just blows you up. Not even just with Waft. Waft is like its own bullshit, right? He hits you once, and like if you know the combo route, you can kill people so often with Waft, especially with Rage. But even beyond that, like he has consistent damage output. He has reliable kill confirms with like down tilt bear. I've seen things like up air for kills, or like nair back air. Crazy edge guarding with things like down air. Forward tilt is great, like 2-frame ledge trap tool. Like he has no problem killing you. And then all of his attacks are like really good frame data. Like his only weakness is that, yeah, he gets outranged by a lot of stuff. But you're fighting Wario, if you're like hitting him with like back airs to keep him out, he doesn't care much about that, because when he hits you, he's gonna do so much more damage than like swatting him away is ever gonna do. Also, Bike is such a strong tool for a disadvantage, even just like setting up ledge traps, edge guards, you name. Like I've seen Gluttony just start using Bike, like the on the ground throwing it. It's so good. So yeah, Wario has been insane, will be insane. Samus is interesting. I might be putting her a little bit too high, honestly, but my thought process is, I think Samus is like really good against most characters. I think she has a very polarizing matchup spread, where I feel like she's very good versus most characters, right? Like Charge Shot is such a controlling move. Charge Shot's like, hey, you have to respect this move in neutral, and as a result, you're playing my game. And then she still has great grab game, great air to air with forward air, heavy, up air shield is nice. She does good damage, she can lift very long, her recovery is pretty good. Bomb ledge trapping is so insane. Zera is a great poke tool, and also has longest range grab in the game. And her main, and also kill throw with up throw. And like her main thing is that This is all good, but it all kind of relies on charge shot, which most characters don't deal with well. But the characters that have built-in tools for charge shot, like Steve Blocks, Game & Watch Bucket, Olimar Pikmin, really destroy her. So I think she's a polarizing character that, like, most characters have a lot of trouble dealing with her ability to wall you out but pressure you. And then the characters that can deal with it, she absolutely fumbles versus. But I'm going to put her here because I think that in most matchups, she's the one controlling the game. And, like, doing it with very good, safe risk reward. Alright, Min. Min is such a polarizing character, right? On one hand, she destroys a lot of characters, or at least has winning matchups versus most characters, because her zoning is so degenerate. On the other hand, characters she struggles with, like Puff, Sheik, Greninja, like just fast characters, really good advantage state, she really struggles with. With that said, she's really good versus most of the roster, and she even is good versus a lot of like top tiers. Like she's good versus Steve, good versus like Snake, Aegis, Cloud, Kazuya, Palutena, Joker, Roy. Like she has a very good matchup spread because her zoning is so strong, and she has so much cheese potential with things like Ram there to like Dragon Smash, right? Or like just her amazing edge guard, and her space control is like a lot of characters can't get in. So polarizing character, but overall a very strong character because, like, sure, sometimes you get screwed with a bad bracket, and then sometimes you have a bracket of just super free matchups. So very powerful, especially as a secondary. If you secondary or duo main her, insanely good character. And she has a lot of room to grow still. I feel like she has not been explored nearly as much as she could be because of how much versatility she gets of having the 3 different arms and how unique they all are. Joker. Now, Joker's been falling off for a bit. Sure, this character isn't like the crazy monster he used to be, but he's still really good, right? He's fast. Good combos. Like, great pressure with, like, projectiles. Arsene's stupid. And, like, the thing about this character is that he can just kind of run around, zone you out forever, and then, like, get Arsene and blow you up, right? But even without that, his speed and his combo game is pretty good. He has kill confirms. He's very safe. And especially if you get good tech chases. This is what I've noticed with, like, Leo versus every other Joker. Leo's Joker is so good at hitting tech chases, and I feel like every other Joker is just not. And if you hit those tech chases, it's insane. But yeah, he is a kit where, like, every move is good. His disadvantage state's really solid. Like, his recovery without Arsene's good. His landing because of down guns is very good. So yeah, he is falling off a little bit, and I think that's mostly because, like, the really good characters have really good combo games, or are really good at playing super safe and waiting on Arsene. Also, his Arsene recovery is super bad, and that is actually massive. Because if you lose neutral with Arsene, you might just never get back to neutral, at least now with Arsene. And he lives and dies by his Arsene usage. So I could see him falling because the Arsene reliance and the fact that, like, he's good at being evasive but not good at pressuring necessarily can be an issue. But I think at the same time, the fact that he's constantly, like, able to put people on a timer, has very consistent combos, very hard to hit, and just has, like, a lot of, like, disjointed, fast, safe buttons, makes him a very good but skill testing character that may not do well in today's very specific meta. So if anything, I think he'll fall off over time. So I'm putting him here for now, but he might, like, drop here later, honestly. Palutena has been the gatekeeper since Ultimate's release. She will stay the gatekeeper. Like, this character is everything you want in a character. She has been struggling lately, and that's because she's linear. She is a character that requires you as the Palutena player to know the matchup, because everyone knows how to fight Palutena, right? And, like, she doesn't have, like, crazy tricks. She's just, like, fundies with some bullshit, right? But what that means is that she's, like, fundies, but with, like, some nonsense. She is kind of playing, like a lot of times I think Palutena players are getting gimmicked by not knowing a matchup. And that's hard. You have to really grind out matchups and learn them. So it almost makes sense that, like, her results aren't, like, up to, like, this tier, even though we all know, like, she's really good. Like, her advantage state, up air is broken, back air is insane for, like, everything. Her projectile game is great. Dash attack's dumb. Nair is, like, a crazy busted move. Teleport cancels let her escape disadvantage super easily. And it's like she can play extremely safe, wait for any little mistake and punish you, and because she's so safe, it's hard to punish her even for slight mistakes. With that said, I think the biggest weakness is that, you know, her neutral is kind of linear. Like, it's safe, but it is a little bit linear. Her projectiles are like good for like harassing people, but they don't really give you openings if the opponent's like playing around side B. I also think her ledge trapping is an issue, where it's like she can kill you with good reads, but if she wants to kill you, she has to get those reads on her ledge trapping, and those reads kind of leave her vulnerable, right? But if she's not going for like reads at the ledge, she's gonna struggle to kill, and that's eventually gonna bite her in the butt, because like she's gonna get poked by random projectiles, she's gonna get blown up for jumping, she's gonna get parried for back airing. Like, her neutral is not so obnoxiously safe you can't find openings, especially if you're a good character. So she's like forced to like end games and end stocks, and she's subpar at that. And I think that's what holds her back more than anything else. Well, that and the fact that, like, once again, everyone has more matchup knowledge versus her than she has versus other people. I also think it doesn't help that like a lot of like the best characters are really good versus her, like Kazuya. I think Cloud's good versus her, like Steve, Diddy. So she got a little bit unlucky with like how like the top of the meta developed. But yeah, that is it. This is top tier right here. And now the next video is gonna be the last one, going over the top 10 characters in my opinion and why they're so insane. But yeah, these are all characters that in theory are great and in practice have amazing results with very game warping strengths. So yeah, catch you guys for the next one.